In recent weeks, I've seen an increase in chatter about the possibility of Microsoft entering the portable games console market with an Xbox Portable. Xbox Ready published one of their clickbaity videos on the subject, and Tom at The Verge let his feelings on the matter be known. The success of Steam Deck and Switch has led many gamers to speculate that now might be the right time for Microsoft to join that space. Today, I'm going to discuss that possibility and look at the reasons for and against an Xbox Portable. Xbox Ready released one of their typically clickbaity videos, which had a title and thumbnail which suggests that a portable Xbox was on the way. This, of course, is not true, as what they're actually discussing is a dev kit demo by Razer and Qualcomm, which teased the possibility of a gaming device focused on game streaming and remote play from your console rather than a Steam Deck-like portable games console. Not quite the Xbox Portable they promised. Tom Warren at The Verge has got Game Pass working on his Steam Deck and believes that demonstrates that an Xbox Portable is a viable product. The market for these devices is slowly emerging. The Nintendo Switch has been a massive success with huge sales numbers. However, it's not clear to me that the mobile aspect of this device is what's driving those sales numbers. Consider that this is Nintendo's only games console right now, and they've gone out of their way to make these devices easy to share with detachable controllers and colourful designs which appeal to a broader, younger audience, or their parents. The Switch has sold 103 million units as of February 2022, which makes it their most popular console to date. Nintendo also sees this console as being in the middle of its life cycle, so it will be interesting to see if their next device continues this trend, or if they revert back to a standard box under the TV design. Perhaps the better comparison is the Steam Deck, which competes for mindshare in the same sector of gamers as PlayStation and Xbox, a slightly more hardcore gamer audience. There are no hard and fast sales numbers for the Steam Deck so far, but over 110,000 were pre-ordered, and some tracking websites have estimates of sales of up to 850,000 and up. So there is a market for these devices. So should Microsoft get in on the action? Reasons for. There's a clear market for this type of device. Switch sales numbers and a hype around Steam Deck shows that gamers are keen for this type of device. Xbox gamers have been asking for a portable version for years. Certainly when the PSP was launched, a rival product from Microsoft was high on everyone's wish list. Sadly, it never saw the light of day. Microsoft needs to compete with their competitors. They simply cannot cede control of a technology sector to a rival as they risk falling behind. We've seen them try to compete in music players, laptops, phones, wearables, tablets, and yes, games consoles to varying levels of success. Do the sales numbers for the Switch and the Steam Deck make a compelling argument for developing a handheld? As chips become more powerful and less power hungry, the possibilities for new mobile devices becomes really exciting. Apple's M1 series of chips has shown the industry the way forward, and if Microsoft's hardware partners can create powerful, power-efficient chips, then we may see a new class of games console emerge. Hardware is hard to make money on. Microsoft has struggled to make money on hardware in the past, and it's not clear right now how much demand there would be for a Microsoft branded device. If you look at the PlayStation VR as an example of a hardware segment where Microsoft doesn't compete against its closest rival. Microsoft currently has no meaningful presence in VR and doesn't look like entering the consumer space anytime soon. The most noise they've made so far on VR and the metaverse, they seem to use those phrases interchangeably, or at least see them as tied technologies, is prominently mentioning the industrial metaverse. They're developing headsets for the US Army and VW and clearly see the money in the enterprise market. They haven't chosen to enter the VR space yet, as the market isn't big enough, and I believe the same is true for mobile devices. For now at least, Microsoft seem happy to let PlayStation have the console VR market all to themselves, and the same is probably true of the mobile games console market. Reason number 2, it's niche. The market isn't a billion-dollar segment yet. Possibly they'll see it as a vanity project akin to the Surface Studio. It's not really designed to sell by the bucket load, but it's a cool product and it gets people talking positively about the brand and forming those positive associations to it. It's not that they don't want it to sell a lot, but they are prepared for it to be a low sales unit device. Also, look at the use case that Tom Warren lists. Some offline gaming when traveling. Now, I appreciate it can be used all over the house and when you're out and about, but it's still pretty niche. Tom replied to my tweet, and I think he's suggesting that because the Surface Studio is also a niche device, Microsoft could also dip their toe in these waters too. I just don't see this happening, and an all-in-one PC is a far different beast to a mobile games console with far less design constraints and arguably far broader appeal. Mobile game sophistication. Now this is an odd one because a lot of people don't like mobile games, but mobile games are becoming ever more sophisticated. Apex Legends, PUBG and Call of Duty all have mobile versions which give a pretty good approximation of the gameplay to their full-blown counterparts, especially when you pair a controller to your phone. Pair a controller to your phone and you've got a portable games console without the need for spending another £400 or £500 on a new device. If you look at the direction of travel, let's look at game streaming. Xbox Game Pass has game streaming, which turns any Android device into a full-blown Xbox. Yeah, not quite, but I appreciate that you need a good connection. But in an era of 5G connectivity, for those gamers with good mobile reception, buying another games console makes no sense. Also consider other streaming options such as EVE Online, which you can now stream through a browser to any device. For developers, this cuts out the middleman. This doesn't make sense for many games publishers as they don't have the infrastructure, but if you could keep 100% of the profits rather than pay Sony or Microsoft 30% for selling it through their store, then why not? Also, the direction of travel for Xbox and Microsoft is game streaming, Game Pass, and the cloud. How does a new mobile device play into this? Perhaps a low-powered streaming device, but that doesn't meet the needs of the traveling gamer as it requires an always-on connection. Also consider that the most concrete news we've had on Xbox hardware this year has been recent news about a streaming stick for televisions or the like. This makes much more sense when you look at the direction of travel for Xbox and also Microsoft, which is cloud first. Meet your customers where they are. We've seen this mantra repeated since Microsoft abandoned their Microsoft First ideals after the failure of UWP and Windows Phone. I would say that close to 100% of Xbox owners also own a smartphone. So to ask those users to buy another device to game on when they already have a super powerful phone in their pockets is unrealistic. As mobile phones become ever more capable, the market for other mobile devices surely diminishes. We've seen this play out before with the PC and laptop markets. When smartphones became popular, people realized they no longer needed a beige box PC or a bulky laptop to get things done. As phones became more capable through increased power and better application support, the need to buy a replacement desktop or laptop became less and less, and PC sales figures dipped across the board. The same will happen with mobile games console. As a device in your pocket gets better and better and more capable, the need for another device becomes less and less. Yes, some will love the idea of a dedicated device, but the bigger market to target is mobile, both for dedicated gaming and for streaming. Having said all of this, if the market continues to develop, then we may see an entry from Microsoft in this space. The ability to play Xbox and PC games natively on a handheld device is appealing. It frees up a screen in your house and gives you the flexibility to pick up a game for a shorter period of time and in any location that you choose. Now, could it be that the next Xbox console is a Steam Deck-like device, but as a replacement for the Xbox Series S? It'll have to compete on price with the Steam Deck, which at £450 is a direct replacement for the low-cost Series X. And if the cost is much more than that, then players will consider the pros and cons of paying for a more limited device versus buying a full gaming PC or console. However, I do believe that this is a game of diminishing returns. Right now, Valve has been able to tap into a segment of users starved of any real innovation. The idea of playing PC games on the go is one that appeals to a lot of gamers, myself included, but I'm not sure that equates to mass market adoption at a rate which makes entering this space worthwhile for a company the size of Microsoft, especially when they cannot make Xbox Series S and X consoles fast enough to sell them right now. As mobile compute, battery and connectivity power increases, the need for a dedicated handheld becomes less and less. If the phone you own is nearly as powerful as a games console, why would you need a separate device? So will they do it? The next 6 months is going to be interesting, so watch this space. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Cheers everyone, I'll see you in the next one.